Hi, hello, my name is Raymond, and it's that time of year in which stores decide that August and September are just pre-October and pre-October and start selling Halloween decorations that break every year because some kid was having a rough night. So I decided that since I can record gameplay footage now, I wanted to do a video on a game that goes well with the season, and what better game to do it on than Luigi's Mansion. Just as an aside, this video will be taken in 3 parts: the concept, the content, and the conclusion, hence the name, the 3 C's. The content part of the video will have a spoiler-free and non-spoiler-free section, and the timestamps will be included in the description for those. With that out of the way, let's get right into the concept. Luigi's Mansion was released to the Japanese public on September 14th, 2001, being the only version to come out before Halloween that year. The NTSC United States version was released on November 18th, 2001, just in time for Thanksgiving. The PAL European and Australian versions were released on May 3rd and May 17th respectively, so no holidays for them to play it on, unless you count summer vacation. The game had a novel idea at the time, especially for a launch title, being the only console other than the NES and portables to not come with a Super Mario launch title. Instead, Luigi's Mansion held the first impressions of the eager gaming audience, and it did not disappoint. It was praised for its technical achievements and novel design, the only complaint being its length, being quite short compared to other games in the Super Mario Bros. Lineup. Its idea seems pretty simple. It's a ghost-busting adventure with Luigi, who's just trying to save his brother. Even then, this idea had many complications that ended up changing the development of the GameCube for the better. The game's early conception was still in a huge mansion, with the camera being in a dollhouse-like position, the perspective being that of the player looking into the rooms via the front wall. Mario was the protagonist until the team decided that they wanted to focus on lighting and shadows, and the game being changed to that of a haunted house. Luigi was chosen due to this hinted at nature of being more cowardly than Mario's brave adventurer persona. The lighting effects and ghost transparency caused the development team for the GameCube to place a beefier graphics card onto the console. The controller also hosted a redesign after some feedback from playtesters showed that the C-stick was uncomfortable to use, causing the controller to become a bit more compact. In fact, the dual control scheme of the game was added because the team wanted to add a way to play with just one joystick, eventually being scrapped for the standard and sidestep modes we see in the game today. Talking about the game itself, it was originally supposed to take more of a collect-a-thon approach before being scrapped in favor of a more puzzle-like structure, spawning the optional elements in the game that it is sometimes praised for. Later changes to the game might be surprising to some, with those being the ability to call for Mario, Luigi whistling to the music, and of all things the ability to turn off the flashlight. During all this, the game was heavily marketed via gaming conventions such as E3 and Space World, and the game was eventually released to the public, becoming the cult classic it's seen as today. I suppose my question now is, how does it hold up? Luigi's Mansion is one of those games I didn't feel would live up to its praise, but man was I wrong. The game harbors a control scheme that stands the test of time, with 2 control sticks being a wonder to mess around with. Small nitpick, but I find it bothersome that the C stick has vertical reverse, as I find myself trying to point the flashlight or poltergeist up and just staring at the floor instead, but other than that, it's a solid method of control. The game makes it incredibly fun to just move around, which is not something most games can say about themselves. Just looking around and exploring is fun to do, and you usually get rewarded for it. Sometimes you might find a gem or a golden mouse or just cash. It's incredibly rewarding to just walk around and just mess with stuff. It does very much keep you on your toes though, with there sometimes being something less desirable inside furniture, but as long as you're paying attention you should be fine. Now let's talk about the thing the game's known for: ghost busting. The controls for the vacuum feel very responsive, and it's excessively fun to just point at stuff and see cold hard cash fly towards you. Almost everything can be sucked at, and almost everything has something inside of it for you to vacuum up. And then there's the ghost. What's there to say? It's fun. Spooking a specter than spectating spirit suckage is probably the most satisfying thing about this game. In order to do it, you point your light at the ghost, then have at it. The ghost will start tugging at you and try to get away, and to keep him on your sight you just have to pull back on him. It's a tug of war without the rope. You have to move Luigi in the opposite way the ghost is heading and not pull him towards you as I first thought. You have to pay attention to which way your specter is facing, and then move the opposite way of that. After that, you can either keep your control stick in that direction and just kind of rock it accordingly, or you can try to repeatedly flick the stick towards the direction you want. I honestly can't find out which method works best. The game revolves around this mechanic, especially with the portrait ghost, which basically tests how well you've gotten at the skill, with you being rewarded if you manage to take down the ghost down to 10 HP before it pulls through. It's incredibly hard the farther you get into the game, but it's also incredibly fun to see how far you can get. Admittedly, I'm not the best Luigi's Mansion player, but I'm at least skilled enough to have gotten an A rank and all gold and silver portraits on a playthrough, which says something, I think. But holy cow are some of the things in this game challenging. I haven't died once, but trying to go for gold with portrait ghosts and trying to collect all of the things in the game is proving excruciatingly difficult. One of the reasons is the speedy spirits. A speedy spirit is a ghost that once it goes away, it's gone. Bye bye. See ya. I have had the unfortunate experience of saving after a speedy spirit has gone due to me forgetting that catching boost saves the game, so I could no longer reset. It was frustrating to know that I could have done better. Luckily, if you do miss one, you have the option of giving that reset button a tap, but just make sure you don't reset a chance encounter or a perfect ghost portrait. Moral of the story, please save pretty often. After you have done a thing that's hard to do, save. Beat a portrait ghost in one suck, save. Got a 1 in 5 mouse spawn, save. Watered this plant? Just save. Toad is your friend. He is love. He is life. Speaking of the mice, oh boy are they a thing. They scurry along the floor and if you suck them up, jackpot. Hell yeah, but they're a pain to actually catch and spawn. The hard thing isn't finding them, it's getting to show the heck up. Half of the mice are pretty easy. Using your Game Boy Horror, yes, the thing you never used, admit it, you forgot it was a thing, you can look around and scan a few cheeses found throughout the game to get one to spawn. After that, panic for a bit while you try to get out of the Game Boy Horror and then suck up the mouse. Try and do it the first time because it's a pain to get them to show up a second time if you missed the first time. The other half of the mice are... They only show up when the room is dark. Oh, by the way, this also applies to the cheeses too, so make sure you scan the cheese before you get all the ghosts in a room. Alright? Cool. Anyway, these mice have a 1 in 5 chance to show up whenever you walk into any of the 5 places they can spawn. It's almost impossible to have them spawn consistently. And if going for a high rank, you best be assured that you're going to enter and re-enter rooms a lot to make them spawn. So please keep that in mind. Luckily, in the recording that I took, it happened after 5 resets due to a speedy spirit being stubborn, and I managed to save both the mouse and the spirit. Needless to say, my jaws were dropped at that point. Other than that, here's a few tips and tricks so that you can be a slightly better Luigi's Mansion player. First, the doors. Some of the doors are fake and will swing towards you and deal a bit of damage. You can tell which one is which because the fake doors have no carpet under them while the real doors do. If that doesn't work out for you, remember that the map on the Game Boy Horror exists and it shows you all of the real doors from there. Second, remember that if you stare at mirrors, you'll get teleported into the foyer. Because reasons. And I do mean any mirror. Third, portrait ghosts will drop a poison mushroom around the 25 to 20 HP mark, so try and avoid it while still holding onto the ghost by letting the ghost pull you a teeny bit and try to avoid it. Fourth, do not suck these, do not look at these, do not breathe around these, avoid them at all costs. Fifth, some of the furniture and doors that do hold goodies inside will swing open and hurt you, so it's best to be safe and open most things with attacking first, then interact with it later. Sixth, always keep a full elemental gauge on you, usually the one given to you right before you enter an area. It's most likely the one that's going to come in handy. Lastly, with the boos that come in the later part of the game, what I do to keep them near me is move in a circle and slightly away from them. For some reason, even though they have 0 resistance, they seem to just kinda get stuck like that for the most part. Just make sure not to move too far away from them. I'm going to start talking about the specifics of the game, so if you want to play it for yourself and try to find all the secrets and treasure, go ahead and skip this section. I am aware that the game is old enough to vote, but still, some people probably haven't even played it yet. Okay, ready? So, for those of you that want all of the things, how do you get them? Well, this handy dandy guide will take you through all of the treasures that I have found, so let's get right into it. A quick disclaimer, I try not to look stuff up while I played, so I might have missed something and not been able to get footage for it. If that's the case, I'll put this here instead. Also, I will only be going through the major spoils, treasure chests, and speedy spirits, mice, and gems. Everything else can just be found by playing the game and sucking all of the things. Cool? Cool. First things first, don't miss the speedy spirit to the right of this wardrobe room. It only appears while it's dark, so do him after the first orange dude appears or before you check the left drawer. Next, you'll encounter your first double room, which is just a room with a speedy spirit and the mouse. Make sure to do this after the book gets launched at you, so go ahead and suck the book up. Then, do the mouse first. Just take a look at the cheese behind the desk, then check the chair for the speedy spirit. After that, go ahead and grab that hubby because this is about to start getting bloody, except not really because they're ghosts. Well, anyway, the next mouse is the first 1 in 5 mouse you'll be able to get, so just enter and re-enter the room till it happens. It's recommended you go back 2 rooms just to be safe, but I have done it by just going in and out of the door on the right. If it happens, save, because you'll need it. Next is the breaker room. Go to the right of the hallway, then go down, and it should be the only open room down there. Get the speedy spirit that resides there, and please do better than my pathetic 5 reset attempts to get it. Next is the storage room, behind the dancing couple room. Before you do anything, suck on the chair and the speedy spirit will be yours. Hopefully you save that portrait goes God run, because if you miss, there goes your save. Next is a cheese in the fortune teller room. It's just behind her desk. Heck yeah. Chest after completing the laundry room? Check. In the butler's room, make fun of his lack of anything, then cry after finding out he can afford to throw a whole ass gem away. Then admire his toilet paper collection, knowing full well he hoarded during Corona, only to find that he hid a whole ass room away behind all that poo-poo paper. Steal all of the stuff, then get out the way you went in. After that, try and see if the fat guy has dropped any leftovers, only to find the cheese that you can look at it and then get paid for it. Then save, because guess what, speedy spirit here to ruin your day. Beat up the fat man, then steal his coin, then save, because now you're scared that someone will mug you. Go to the kitchen, then pray to the heavens that a mouse smelled your sins and suck him up for judging you, because this is a 1 in 5, have fun entering and re-entering this room a million times. Save, because that took too long, then go back for a speedy spirit on the stove on the left. Catch him, then open the stove on the right, then fry the gem till it cries for forgiveness, then promptly place it in your pocket. After cleaning that room, ignore the dog and go water some plants. To the balcony first to get some of that green, then ask for some more where you sucked up that girl. After the dog decides to chill down, water the plant there. If you forget, the gods will make sure that you pay for that. Go to the graveyard, then find out why that drain pipe is clogged, being a plumber and all, and then get paid for all your hard work. After that, the first thing once back in the mansion is to go water that plant, but it's too shy right now to say thanks, so come by later. Now, no one ever said that having many jobs was a bad thing, so be a landscaper for a bit to help some more plants grow. These ones are immediately grateful, but they say good things come to those who wait. Go murder some more dudes to get a chest, because they kept ruining the garden anyway. After that, you want to challenge an absolute Chad, but you need some training, so go bully this wimpy speedy spirit, then prep for this battle. This one's hard, really hard, so no worries if you die here, as this ghost is what it says on the tin, an absolute Chad. You can take him though, and after that he'd probably ask you to marry him. Deny him on the account that he's dead, then regret your choices as you realize the next room sucks. It has a 1 in 5 mouse in it, and also a cheese mouse. It also has a red gem on the right of the room, but you can get that one after you clear the room. Be sad because you realize there's another 1 in 5 on this highway as well, but hey, at least it's not the tea room. Get a chest in the washroom after getting mad at this dude for clogging the toilet, then head to grandma's room to give her a hug as you murder this other guy for money. You feel like playing some pool, but to your horror, this guy seems to have beaten you to it. No worries though, he scampers off after giving him a 1-2, then beat this other guy at his own game by getting another engagement ring. Not feeling the love from either guy, head to the twins room, then beat up this guy for his lunch money, then skedaddle to the safari room where you can find comfort in staring at this cheese and murdering this mouse. Go to a balcony, then stare at these boos from a distance as you decide to water these plants before going ahead and ending their cult once and for all. Just so you know, you probably will have to go back for more water halfway after watering the plants. After that, you remembered about the plant that you helped, and as promised, the patience was worth it, because who baby is this the best wedding band you've ever seen? Say yes to the plant before making your way to go save his newest brother-in-law. Freak out because it's the worst or best part of the game. Go to the room where that lady played the piano, then died, wonder why, then steal the shit she has on her desk, but oh no, this guy beat you to it. Beat him up to get what you rightfully deserve. Go to the butler's secret stash, then steal this guy's money once more because he didn't want to show up the first time. Go to the nursery and discover that he moves fast, so go ahead and steal more of his money, then head to the wardrobe room. Turn the lights on, then go to the room where that boob probably went into when you failed to try to catch it, and instead go for the guy in the corner who just keeps giving you money. Get the chest in the room where the creepypasta was born, then make your way to where the bosses decide to cosplay. After that, go commit suicide. No, don't. Then pray to God that the mouse spawns, because if it doesn't, Luigi's minis will probably have a bad day. Grab every chest but the one on the carpet, because that's the one that'll smother your chances of getting that precious golden mouse. After you do that, realize you're soft locked. Except not really, because mirrors are weird. After that mousecapade, go water the plant in the room that you sit in and beat up a child and steal her jewelry, but at least water her plant, you meanie. Get the chest in the medieval horror house and tell this guy that his pot sucks so that he'll cry so hard that he dies, then steal his money that he hid in his crappy pots, and then grab that chest. The last big money pot is simple. Catch all of the boos. After doing that, make sure that you save, because if you reset or die here, you might lose that diamond, so make sure the second you grab that last boo, you go save. Then go show King Boos who's boss, at least after you grab the super last gem in his chamber. Keep in mind that these are only the places to get the biggest money pots. There's still a lot more to find and explore, so go and have at it. Also, these things are just presented in the order that I did them, or in the order that the guide presented them in, so if you find any inconsistencies with your playthrough and this list, keep in mind that it's not meant to be a walkthrough. Just when you enter the rooms entailed, go ahead and have a reference at the list to figure out how to stuff your pockets silly. Just some last second tips to make sure your playthrough is a bit smoother. The Speedy Spirit in the twins room is kind of RNG because if he stays on the top bunk, you'll probably not get it. You'll have to wait till it gets off, then go for it. Also, when the twins themselves ask you to play hide and seek, just vacuum the boxes. The ones that shake are the real ones. For the twins, the one that drops the pearls is the red one, and for the clockmen, the one that drops the pearls is the blue one. If a boo escapes, don't worry about it because the boo will just stick around in a different room until you enter it. If you take too long, you'll just have to search this furniture for it again. When the boo is in the hallway, try and get it from the opposite direction you want it to go in, then stop sucking it when you see it heading in that direction, just to avoid it going somewhere that you won't be able to get it until very later. With that out of the way, let's take a step back and see where this adventure has led us. All in all, Luigi's Mansion is a great game, and one that rightfully deserves all of the praise that it gets. With its stellar design and satisfying gameplay, it's probably one of the games that I have beaten multiple times back to back just to see what I could do better. The Portrait Ghost rankings and the money collection adds a great replay value, and the Hidden Mansion, no I didn't forget, adds an extra level of difficulty just in case the base game was getting a bit stale for you. But now I guess I should give it a ranking or something, and I guess I'll give it a 6 out of 7. It's not perfect with its short length and strange mechanics, but it's close, and I'll probably be playing it again soon after this video. With that out of the way, my name is Raymond, and I'll be seeing you later. Ciao!